All right, I got a few minutes, so I thought I'd upload a couple of videos today. First, we're going to talk about Andy Stanley. Before I do that, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been praying for us as a family, still kind of dealing with things. It's been a stressful period with our son's diabetes, so he's good, he's fine, he's at school, his numbers, yeah, they're fine. Everything is good. We're just it's a stressful season, taking a little bit of a I don't know. We're going on cruise control a little bit right now. But I wanted to talk about some things because there have been two topics that I really feel passionate about, and I haven't been able to talk about it. So here I am talking about it. First being Andy Stanley. Andy Stanley right now is being just, I don't know, raked over the coals for his views on marriage. Now, what's interesting about this isn't his views on marriage, because I think we all know, I've made a couple videos even in the past where I'm like, eventually this guy is going to come out as affirming. And for those people who keep on sending me messages and comments, and you want to be on the penalty box, and man, you're going to be on the penalty box. But the people who keep on saying like, oh, you're so liberal, you must be blah, 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 blah. I am for biblical marriage, one man, one woman for life. I am not budging on that issue. That being said, I don't think that the church has done a tremendous job of dealing with people and teaching people sexual ethics. Don't think that. Now, Andy Stanley, he goes way too far. I think everybody knows that. I don't need to make a video about that. There's 1,000 videos right now about that. What I do want to talk about is this little thing that's happening in the midst of it. There are people who are already writing off Andy Stanley. That's why I put it in the thumbnail. Farewell, Andy Stanley. Tons of people tweeting that thing because of John Piper. We'll talk about John Piper in the next video. But they're all saying that, and he hasn't denied the gospel. And I have a real hard time with people who are just writing people off and saying that they're heretics and saying that they don't believe in Jesus anymore when they haven't denied the gospel. Now, can you deny the gospel with your life? Yes. Andy Stanley, according to everything that I've seen, I haven't listened to the whole sermon. I've read portions of it. Obviously the people who want to take him down, they're all putting the most inflammatory stuff out there. And I don't see anything in there that's taking away the gospel. That being said, dangerous, very dangerous. I think wrong and dangerous. But that doesn't mean that he is no longer a Christian. I'm never going to cross that bridge for somebody. They got to cross that bridge on their own, not get pushed, not get shoved along, not get well, let's take you to the other side on my bicycle. None of that stuff. They have to cross that bridge on their own. Andy Stanley so far hasn't done that. Dangerous stuff, bad way to pastor people. Absolutely. But that's nothing new for Andy Stanley. One thing that is kind of new in this conversation is how people are calling him a coward. How dare Andy Stanley take his live stream off the internet? As if we all didn't do that during the pandemic at some point. When you're dealing with sensitive topics, when you're dealing with church discipline, you know that most likely that stream isn't going out there. And it's just so interesting to me to see people look at a megachurch and be like, oh, well, they're just cowards because they're not doing this live stream, because they're doing what every local church has done over the last 2 years. It's just a little hypocritical. And I just think that people are reading a lot of their emotions and a lot of their perspective into that, because even as big as Andy Stanley's church is, it's still a church. It's still a local assembly. And sometimes they got to deal with stuff, and they don't want the world to take and twist their words. Now, obviously that was going to happen anyways, because there's all kinds of people who will just be like, yeah, I'm totally not recording this right now. Nothing surprising with the Andy Stanley stuff. I don't think that he is completely out of the camp yet. I think he has one foot out, and I'm going to wait for him to take that other foot out before I say anything about that aspect of it. That being said, again, super dangerous, used car salesman. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him on leadership. It's bad leadership. He has terrible arguments. It's just, even look at this one. Look at this one right here. Jesus drew circles, he preached. He drew circles so large and included so many people in his circle that it consistently made religious leaders nervous. His circle was big enough to include sinners like me. We decided 28 years ago, we don't draw lines, we draw big Circles. Wow. I guess, we're going back to kindergarten theology and we're drawing circles. We're not drawing squares. We're not drawing lines. We're drawing circles. I get what he's saying. We need to be kind and compassionate and friendly and inviting to people who, regardless of whatever sin they're dealing with in their life, whatever kind of lifestyle they're living, everyone can come to the cross. There's room for everybody. We shouldn't judge people and be like, oh, well, they could never be saved or something like that. I think that's what he's trying to do. But also it's just, come on, like, just say what you actually mean. And so we can know. But he hasn't done that yet. So I'm not going to read between the lines and say what he hasn't done. That's my view on that. Next up, John Piper. Check out that video coming up real soon. I'll see you in the next one.